I haven't had this much fun with a shooter since, well, ever. Doom the Dark Ages isn't just more Doom, it's the best Doom's ever been. That said, I didn't love it for the story. Or did I?
They lied to us. And now he has a leash.
He's not one of us.
By the end of this video, you'll know why Doom the Dark Ages deserves to be called a masterpiece. It revives Doom's core and evolves it into something surprisingly thoughtful. I liked it more than 2016's rebooted Doom, which I once pegged as the series' peak. You might think an allegedly story-free game is an odd thing for a channel that loves stories to focus on, but hear me out. A lot of people think story is the same as plot. The real calculus is story equals plot plus character. We'll get back to this, but for now, remember, stories don't live without people in them, no matter how cool the series of events is. The Dark Ages plot is more or less a hot mess designed to power slide you through each level, but it does some unexpected character work that earns a second glance. Let's start where it all began, with a big fucking gun. All the feels. The BFG makes a return in Doom the Dark Ages, but what that acronym stands for is both wonderful and a spoiler, so you'll have to discover it for yourself. What I can get into is the Dark Ages core gameplay loop, which I'll describe in 2 words: primal and perfect. You walk into a demon-infested cathedral, your shield's already out, and seconds later the place is a Jackson Pollock painting in red. The original Doom, a Christmas gift to the world back in 1993, was unapologetically a story of its time. It was a game that didn't drift from Doomslayer doing what he did best, killing demons in bulk, probably because he got a volume discount on ammo. The Dark Ages is a game that doesn't shy away from its origins roots, but it is a refinement in both gameplay and story. The devs suggested this outing would feel more like being an armored tank rather than a zipline champion, but I didn't think it was slower Doom. It's smarter Doom. It lets you decide how to rip and tear. Every gun roars. I had my favourites, but nothing felt useless. If I ran dry on Old Faithful, I could pull out his bastard child and continue mowing down demons. It's like ice cream. The king of flavours is obviously cookies and cream, but I won't send French vanilla back to the kitchen. It's still ice cream, and in the Dark Ages, never has demon slaying tasted so good. That thick aesthetic. If 2016's Doom was Space Hell, this one is Cathedral of Rage. The vibe is Doom times Warhammer 40k times Darksiders. Heavy, angry, metal as hell art design that makes every level feel like you're trespassing in Joe Mad's brain. Its emphasis is on brutalist fantasy, not space-age tech. The game drips with gothic medieval techno-weirdness. It's set back in time, but there are energy weapons. You're going to classic hell, but then there are Cthulhu tentacle-faced monsters like Lovecraft was 2 up on the writing team. There's spacecraft, Gundam-ass mechs, high-velocity kinetic guns, energy weapons, and a big-ass ancient flail in your back pocket. There's no Halo-style clean sci-fi here. There's no green armored space dad saving the galaxy. It's Doomslayer as a knight with a grudge against hell, and the biceps to do something about it. It's such a delightful mashup of genres that shouldn't work, but absolutely does. It feels like the core design principle was, if it's cool as hell, put it in. Soundtrack, sound design, and performance. On an AMD Ryzen 7700X with an NVIDIA 4070 Super, the game ran flawlessly, no stutter, no drops on ultra-nightmare settings with DLS upscaling and frame generation. Take a side quest to Digital Foundry if you're the kind of nerd who loves tech stuff. They cover it in more depth, but I found the dynamic resolution invisible. The visual fidelity holds up even during the biggest bloodbaths. Music needs an acknowledgement. Mick Gordon came in for the music on 2016's Doom and its sequel, Doom Eternal, and it was metal as hell. Mick didn't come back for the Dark Ages due to a nuclear-level event between him and id Software's executive producer, Marty Stratton. This means the soundtrack here was put together by Finishing Move, who've done work on games like Borderlands and the Callisto Protocol. I think trying to follow Mick Gordon is a difficult job, and it's unfair to both parties to compare them. I will say that Finishing Move made a soundtrack that's spiritually Doom. It's metal. If you like metal, you'll be headbanging by the second level. If you don't like metal, it'll still get the job done in the background, making you feel like a demonic gladiator. And what more does any Doomslayer need? Positional audio is a treat in this. With a set of Atmos cans, there's a next level of fidelity added to the experience. If you can go surround, no demon will get a cheap shot in. Who wore it best? Representation done right. While the Dark Ages channels its gory roots, it takes a quick left turn from the standard chainmail bikinis popular in the 90s. The game's supporting cast includes Commander Thera, Princess of Argent-D'Honneur and daughter of King Novik. She's not your average female sidekick. She's sensibly dressed in armor and plot relevance. It's her dad that's the shirtless one. Novik struts around, abs out, dual pauldrons and zero shame. The flip feels deliberate. The chainmail bikini energy goes to the bloke. Let's linger on this for a moment because it's one of the smartest costume subversions I've seen in a dude bro shooter. Our heroine, Thera, is armored. Practical. No boobed window or weapons grade cleavage, just solid gear that says, I'm here to fight demons, not become a collectible statue. Meanwhile, it's her dad that's decked out like he lost a bet. If she's dressed for war, he's dressed for a Pinterest board titled Barbarian Thirst Traps. Doom the Dark Ages tosses the trope away. It plays into a bigger point. Thera is not someone you rescue because she's a woman. She's someone the demons go after because she's dangerous. This is important. We're getting to story stuff. With games still dredging out the rescue the maiden gig, Thera is the character who's targeted by the bad guys because she has agency. It's a critical point in the evolution of who gets to matter. In the classic era, 1993 to 2004, Doomslayer was an angry marine. Male-coded, yes, but more an avatar of fury than a character. I remember no women in the original games. Representation didn't exist as a design tool. The focus was pure gameplay, speed, gore, and fun. The narrative was a few screens of text between levels which you read out of guilt for skipping every cutscene in Wing Commander. It wasn't anti-representation, but it was definitely pre-representation as conscious design. For the reboot era, Doom 2016 and beyond, the cast is mostly corporate white dudes, demons, and one eventual robot, Samuel Hayden. There's Dr. Olivia Pierce, the main villain, which is a big swing for a female antagonist in the FPS genre. She's ambitious, arrogant, and not sexualized, but she's also a cautionary tale. The woman who reached too far, too fast. Thera in the Dark Ages is a notable pivot. She's not sidelined or reduced. She's not a romance object. She's an ally, and her moral stance matters. And her costume reflects respect, not fan service. Her dad, being the eye-candy barbarian, is both funny and subversive, especially in a genre that usually gives us impractically battle-thonged sorceresses. This signals a maturity in Doom design, not just including women, but deconstructing the way they're usually portrayed. Doom the Dark Ages didn't just give us a woman in armor. It gave us a woman with agency, and a dad who forgot his shirt. It's funny, sure, but it also makes a quiet, confident statement. In this world, strength isn't about gender. It's about what you do when consequences are literally about the world becoming hell on earth. Story equals character plus plot, and Doom finally gets it. Classic Doom had a plot, not a story. Doomslayer was a rage avatar. Your dude is angry, pixelated, and just keeps moving. The plot was a justification for gameplay. Demons come through a portal. You're here, do something about it. It's silent on character development. 2016's Doom switched this up, but remained plot-heavy and character-light. The plot is, you wake up, find Mars is on fire, and get briefed by a robot. The character work is mostly Doomslayer using his body language, not his words, showing an abject disdain for exposition. His entire arc is summed up by the intro, where he busts a monitor mid-explanation. The message is clear. Don't expect nuance here. While Hayden and Pierce get the most character depth, the protagonist remains stoic, sure, but mostly symbolic. The big switch is not that the Dark Ages delivers a plot that rivals War and Peace. It remains simple. Demons are bad and something betrayal. But Doomslayer now has relationships. They're not dialogue heavy because Brother Doomslayer is too busy getting the job done. That doesn't mean they're less meaningful. The game opens with Doomslayer under the yoke of Creed Maker. In the war against Hell, Doomslayer is the ultimate weapon, but controlled by a device. Thera thinks this is total shit, and she has Doomslayer's back, giving him the eventual method to free himself. Doomslayer now has an arc. It contains small moments of reflection. Who he respects, why he shows restraint, and what his response is to betrayal. The world around him feels more aware of Doomslayer through the actions of characters like Thera. See, she stands up for him. Thera risks their greatest weapon in the war on Hell because otherwise, what's the point? You have to win against evil with good, not with more evil. That's what means she matters. Doomslayer isn't just killing demons because he's angry, although, to misquote Ghostbusters, slaying makes him feel good. He's killing because people betrayed him while others risked everything to back him. Doom the Dark Ages proves you can have blood-slick action and emotional weight. The emotion hits harder because it's rare and earned. Don't even get me started on the dragon. If you know, you know, and I still can't talk about it. The bug that cursed me. Even masterpieces can catch a few stray bullets. While the Dark Ages ran pretty well, that doesn't mean it was flawless. I had a bug on 3 separate levels where terrain-locked enemies meant I couldn't complete some encounters. This can block upgrades and collectibles. I can live without the power-ups. By the end you're dripping in sweet epic cannons. But I wanted that glorious 100% completion across all levels, and that door stayed locked tighter than your expected tax rebate. I found it mentioned elsewhere as a known bug, but this is what stopped me from going back for a second playthrough immediately. I want that subsequent trip through hell to feel like heaven, not a journey through Glitchville. But yes, I rolled credits and despite the bug immediately wanted to jump back in. Despite the main campaign clocking in at 20 hours for my first run, I wanted to do it all over again. The final verdict. This is a game that makes you want to complete it. If you're here for an overly rich narrative or delicate pacing, this ain't your jam. But if you like making demons into jam, you're going to have a hell of a good time. It's still a murder symphony and demon guts, but now it's got a theme. It's not just more Doom, it's better Doom. And crucially, it lands the critical marriage of plot and character driving a genuine story. Doom the Dark Ages isn't slower. It's smarter, meaner, and more satisfying than anything the franchise has done before. It's a masterpiece, not because it'll win some awards, but because it'll win your Friday night. In a world of overlong tutorials and moral grey zones, sometimes it's refreshing to just put on your helmet, grab your flail, and do the right thing the hard way. Doom the Dark Ages proves that even demon-slaying power fantasy can grow up a little. In the end, the best stories aren't just cool events. They're what happens when character meets purpose. Doomslayers finally got both. Like and subscribe if demon killing is your love language. Transcripts in the comments if you want to count the number of Warhammer comparisons I made. And thanks for watching.
Please hang up and try again.